Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tony Mekadon again, and I got Sharon Washwick here with me. We're going to do another podcast today to talk about what are we talking about today, Sharon?
Hey, we're talking about financial freedom because, it's Happy Independence Month. I find July really is the time when we celebrate freedom. I mean, I had a great weekend, you know, lake time,
Same here.
beautiful weather, celebrating our nation's 250th. Very proud of our nation. Um, so July is that time that we celebrate our freedom, our independence, and the opportunities that we have within this country. So I figured today is a great time, and this month is a great time to talk about another kind of independence. Can you guess what that is, Tony? Something that's at a core to some freedom in our lives. And so that is our financial independence.
Yeah, I love the sound of financial freedom. I've been chasing it for a lot of years, and the truth is, it's different for a lot of people. It really depends on your lifestyle. I mean, let's face it, there's some people out there that could be financially free by bringing in a certain amount of money, and maybe if you have higher expenses, you might need a little more. But the great thing is, like you said, we're in a country where there's so many opportunities to do things, and maybe it's not in your current job, but maybe it's in a side hustle of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways to make money out there if you look for them and if you're aggressive. And I think there's ways to make it in something you enjoy because there's just a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. you know and I think sometimes we look at talk about financial freedom. Some people just think, well, if I build enough wealth, I'll have that financial freedom. But financial freedom isn't really about building wealth. I mean, obviously having a whole lot of money um, can build financial freedom, like ding ding ding. However, if you don't have a lot, there are ways to actually have financial freedom. There are ways to start working at becoming your debt free, building up that savings, account, owning a home, or really stepping out, entrepreneur wise, like you and I. We've stepped out in business. We love to help people. And that happens to provide an income. You know, um, One of these days, you and I are going to retire, Tony. And so we need to prepare for that today, you know,
Well, let me
you
tell you
know.
what I think I've seen in my life as the key to financial freedom or moving ahead, let's just say. And I've seen this in, people I know, and uh, it's consistency. I
Yeah.
think that's the number one thing you need. You got to look for, like I said, what appeals to you is something you want to do, something you enjoy doing. But whether you're saving, whether you're paying off your credit cards, whether you need consistency, and you need a little bit of discipline, because if you're putting $100 extra a month to pay off that credit cards, but then you see that new jacket or pair of shoes that you want to buy, and it goes right back on the credit card, then you end up being in a circle that a lot of times people can't get out of. So
Yeah.
I'd say consistency and discipline are what's most important. I would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would agree with you there because, putting, I've actually taught financial classes to some young adults because I'm no longer considered a young adult, apparently. I've hit that age. Um, and so I've taught some young adults. And one of my big thing is, you save first, spend second. If you're saving, at least, first, save what you can and spend second, you're going to be finding yourself in a much better financial situation later on if you stay consistent with that mindset. And I've also taught that, hey, you've got to prepare for the threats that are hitting your way in financial freedom. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, nobody really plans on getting sick or injured. We fear it, but sometimes, the plan and the finances just are not there. I mean, a really close friend of mine, uninsured, was not expecting anything to happen. They've been extremely healthy. And then all of a sudden, boom, husband not doing well and in the hospital for weeks.
Yeah.
Out of work. And the next thing you know, bills are coming in, out of work, you got no income coming in. So unless you've been consistent with that savings, it's going to hurt and it's going to hit the long run. If it were you and I, Tony, we'd then be working until we're 90 and the retirement's pushed off.
No, it's not.
But we're going to be consistent.
No, I agree with you, and it's not always easy to do these things to put off for the unknown. But I mean, we see it like you said all the time, and that's what we try and help people with. And even if you have health insurance, hey, you might have a high deductible because hey, we know it's expensive, so you might take the option of I want a lower premium and higher deductible plan, and then something happens and you still owe a lot of money. Another thing that people don't take account of is if something does happen to you and you're out of work for a certain period of time, because maybe you have a medical plan, it's taking care of your medical bills, but is it paying your mortgage? Is it paying your credit card? Is it, buying the
grocery bill? Yeah. We both went to food.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind because there are options to do that, and a lot of times if you're proactive, these options don't necessarily cost a lot of money. Again, I tell my clients all the time, if we had a crystal ball, insurance would be easy to buy because
absolutely,
we would know what to prepare for. But
it wouldn't be called risk. It wouldn't be called risk. And I think the goal of when we say financial freedom, and we're using those words, I think you've met that area of financial freedom when you have a major medical event were to happen tomorrow, that it no longer creates a financial crisis. It's only an inconvenience. It slows you down, but it's not affecting you like where it's like, oh, financial crisis. It's not going to keep you up at night. And that's, we want to help and assist our clients get to that point. Just like I've taught the young adults in the class, I want to get them to that point because the choices that they're making now will absolutely, positively affect their future and get them there.
One other thing I want to say, if you are a young adult out there listening to us right now, and I hope you are
listening to us old folks,
you do make sure you understand the power of time when it comes to money, because doing certain things and having certain good habits in your 20s, and I wish I could say I had them because I had some, but I didn't have others. But having good habits in your 20s, I mean, you don't know the amount of money that's going to create when you are in your 50s or 60s and have kids and grandkids and want to do things with your life. So, hopefully you heed that advice.
Yeah, because, when it comes to being a young adult or middle age, so I guess, today is also focusing more on that age group, although when you're our age and then on up to the senior age, by that age, you're already looking at that narrow, the end game. You're looking for that financial freedom end game, and we're in a little bit better, hopefully in a little bit better of a position. But even so, I think even in our age group, sometimes we're looking at insuring our home. Like my home's insured. We insure our car because we have to, we need to be street legal. We even insure our darn cell phones. You have that insurance on your cell phone, but we completely forget about insuring our paycheck. Completely. Most people forget about their paycheck, and their income funds everything else. Your paycheck funds your future, but your current bills, your current food, your current vacations. And a quick illness or injury or something that you don't expect, if you're not financially free, it's going to create a crisis. And with families living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes I think they think, or the mindset can be, I don't have money to afford insuring my paycheck. I don't have money to be putting into savings. No, you actually don't have money to not.
Yeah.
You don't have the time, and you don't have what would the word be? You really shouldn't give yourself that option not to,
Yep. Yep.
because
I
that's when you
agree.
putting off, it's almost like saying, putting off the work, tomorrow to do tomorrow what you could do today is just never a good thing, and it is in this case.
Well, it's just like people don't expect to get sick. I really don't think people ever expect to be out of work. And
No.
the reality is, when I think about my life and the people I know in my life, most, if not the great majority, at some point have been out of a job.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter if it's an hourly wage job or if it's a corporate job. I mean, things change. Companies downsize. They need to make money. It just, I've seen it all the time. It's happened to me in my past. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, you're exactly right. But I think it's the fact that we don't see it, that we don't take the steps to ensure our paycheck.
Yeah. I think we spend a lot of time perhaps even building assets, but not enough time protecting them. And a paycheck is an asset. At the time that the check goes into your bank, it's an asset. What you choose to spend and do with that paycheck is a goal for financial freedom, or it's a goal just to continue living from paycheck to paycheck and not knowing the long end term goal to retirement. And most people, I think, when it comes to insurance, kind of need to reframe their thinking. Would you agree with me on that? It's just stop taking it as, hey, it's insurance because of the God forbid. No, it's insurance because you want financial freedom. You
Yep.
want to
Yeah.
be able to make sure that if something happens, you and your loved ones are okay. And there's several different products and different ways to be able to do that as well. I really think insurance really is a tool that protects independence.
Well, I think that's very important about the way we handle things. And I'm going to toot our own horn, but I know the two of us, and in our offices, we make a point of getting to know our clients to
Yeah.
see what's important to them, because handling five different clients or even two different clients the same way is really not helping them. So we make a point of talking to you, seeing what are your goals, uh,
Hmm.
how is your health right now, and basically coming up with a plan.
Yeah.
What's your budget? Is it something you could afford? I don't ask people what their budget is to try and sell them something they don't need. What
Yeah.
I want to know their budget is because I want to put the best. I want to give them the best coverage that they could afford, not something that they're worried
Yeah.
about. Um,
Because if they can't afford it, sorry to butt in, but if they can't
no,
afford it, they're going to end up terming it. And insurance
that's
is
what it
not good
is.
terms or canceled. So
Yep.
it has to be something that they can afford. So budget is extremely important. It's not our agent, I say, a lot, but when it comes down to it, we're not focusing on what it's going to give us, because if the client is unhappy, you're going to leave us. I want to see you and a client 30 years from now, when I'm going for retirement, and I want to know that I helped you from ground up. That puts me to sleep at night. It's how my father built the company, starting in 1979. I I was taught that handshake, that comfortability, let's talk, let's be personal, because unless you give me details, I don't know where we're going, and details matter. And it also helps just build that comfortability in that relationship to make sure that we are sleeping really well at night, knowing that a client is well and properly insured. It's our job. We live and breathe this.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't know. Is there anything else we failed to cover?
Well, the one thing I did want to add is just on the tools that Team Washwick that we bring to the table for discussions with our clients. What are ways to get to that financial freedom? And perhaps later on we could discuss further on certain products that will help people. But I mean, health insurance. Number one, everybody thinks about health insurance, okay? But it protects our access to care without devastating our medical expenses. And the
Hmm.
right plan, just because you have it, doesn't mean it's the right plan for you. Some people go to a high deductible because they would prefer that they save money on premium. My thing is always keep the money in your pocket and not the insurance carrier's pocket. We work for the client, we're not working for the carrier. We're independent agents. We have that right to do so. So we really work for our clients. What is the right plan for them? But if they're going in for a lot of medical expenses, they really should take down and take into consideration how much are we spending when we're going to the doctors? How much am I spending on surgeries or prescription drugs? I mean, there's a lot of expensive prescription drugs out there. If you're on a high deductible plan, that can be devastating really quickly because there's nothing in the speed bump way to slow down how much you are expending. So, really finding the right plan for you in health insurance. Life insurance is one of my favorites because health insurance is Department of Financial Services controlled. Okay. They're gone are the wonderful, brilliant ideas and money savings ideas. It's really just to talk about how much you're spending and saving. But life insurance, it's a gift. Life insurance is a gift to protect loved ones in that unexpected.
Hmm.
If I were to die tomorrow, I still have a 9-year-old at home. Obviously, I've got adult children that are on that young adult road of taking things that I've taught them and going for it. Um, but I still have a 9-year-old that has already let me know that she is going to college and she is going to travel the world. You know, um, I want to be able to make sure that my husband isn't devastated and she can't receive those goals because my income is no longer there. Same thing. We got disability, looking at their homeowners and their auto. Hey, perhaps we can save them there, Tony, and they can put that savings. Hey, if it was something you were already previously going to spend, don't look at it as, hey, it's new money. And now I got new money to go to Starbucks every day for my matcha lavender protein shake, you know? No, maybe that's the money that you're now additionally putting into savings.
Yeah.
Put it into savings. We'll find different ways. There's just a lot of different insurances that people can take a look at, you know?
I, one thing I just want to mention on the life and because this affected me at one point in time. A lot of people out there, they might have corporate jobs, and part of that corporate job comes with a life insurance policy, and they'll say, you know what, I don't need a policy because I have one at work.
Nope. Nope, nope,
The
nope.
only thing is, 10 years from now, like we said, a lot of people from downsizing or whatever, they're not in that position anymore, or they leave the company, and now they're trying to buy it. Now they're calling you up and trying to buy a plan, and you're 10 years older, which means it's a lot more expensive. So,
Yeah.
consider setting yourself up early and when you are young and healthy, because that's the time to buy these
Yeah.
services.
And the different types of life insurance. I think we have plans on diving deep into the different types of life insurance because one can be great for somebody who is just starting out. There's another type of policy that's great for somebody that's just starting to have kids and you've got your mortgages coming in. Then later in life, okay, well, the kids are moving out, you don't have a mortgage anymore, but you might have been building that financial freedom. But what type of footprint are you leaving for your children and your inheritance? So now you could utilize things like that as for tax purposes. So there's a lot of different products and ways to help build that financial freedom just with life insurance right there.
Again, that's why we said, give us a call.
Yeah.
Give us a call and chat with us and let us walk you through this and see what's the best for you. And if it's not us, make sure you're still doing the things that we brought up here.
Amazing. Yeah. So a few final takeaways, I think, Tony, just to kind of break it down for them in closing. I would say, if they're looking at this, number one, financial freedom is not the same as being wealthy. Okay, you do not need to be wealthy in today's terms to find financial freedom. You just need to start making consistent and wise choices today. Independence requires preparation. Just said it. You need to prepare. And number 3, protecting income is just as important as earning your income, because what you're earning could stop tomorrow. You need to think about what you're protecting. Number 4 that they need to really have a takeaway on is insurance will help preserve choices when life changes unexpectedly.
Absolutely.
And as we've been kind of pushing for weeks, number 5, small reviews today can prevent major problems for tomorrow.
Yeah, sometimes it hurts to get that pen and paper out and see where you're at, but you cannot go forward or know where you're going forward unless you know your starting point. You ever go to a mall and a big mall and you're looking for a certain place, and where do you go first? You go to that sign and it shows you where that store is, but the key thing that it shows you too is where you're at. You are here, because without knowing where you start, you don't know where you're going.
Exactly. And our question to kind of really ponder and think, if life threw one of our clients or even us an unexpected curveball tomorrow, would your current protection plan preserve your independence, or is it going to threaten it? Is it going to threaten it? Is it going to change your life?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is where we say thanks for joining us at the Washwick Policy Pit Crew podcast. So this July, as we celebrate our nation's independence, we're going to remind you to take a few minutes to review your own financial freedom plan, because true independence isn't about having opportunities. Tony, what is it about?
It's you caught me.
Yep. It's like Tony wasn't listening to me on that. So guess what, guys? It is about protecting them. All right. Have a great day, and we will be with you soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.